Hello, Dr. Jones here to talk to you about the difference between phonemes and morphemes and how to identify those. So, a phoneme is the smallest sound of a spoken language, and lots of different languages have differing amounts of phonemes. In English, even though there are 26 letters in our alphabet, there are over 40 different phonemes. And then we're going to talk about morphemes, which are the smallest unit of a spoken language that has meaning. So think M and M. Morphemes have meaning, and phonemes are the sounds. And it's best to do this with some examples. So I'm going to pull up some examples up here. And let's start with the word cat. What I'd like you to do is go back to your early training when you were first learning how to read. And when you were first learning how to read, you sounded out every letter of every word. And that's what you really need to do to identify the number of phonemes. Go back to doing that and sound out the word. So if you sound out the word cat like you were in preschool again, you would go k, at, k, at, cat, cat, cat. I got it, it's cat, right? But sound it out that way, the k, at, and then you identify the number of sounds. Of course, that's 3, and so there are 3 phonemes. Now, it'd be nice and easy if every letter was just one phoneme, and then you just count the number of letters in a word and you know the number of phonemes. It doesn't work that way because we have these digraphs, which are letters that go together that create a new sound. So if I take the word chat, the C and the H, we don't sound that out as k, right? It becomes the ch sound. So in chat, we have ch, at. So again, we have 3 phonemes. So cat has 3 phonemes and chat has 3 phonemes. So if you're asked to do this on a test, the best thing to do is try and sound it out. I realize you're going to have to do that in your head if it's a quiet test, but go back to that strategy. In terms of morphemes, they're a little bit more complicated because you're looking for the parts of the word that might have meaning on their own outside of the word. And so if we look at a word like adaptable, if we break that apart, you can see that add by itself has meaning. Apt by itself has meaning. And able by itself has meaning. It doesn't have to be words within a word. It just has to have a part of the word that has meaning. So that would have 3 morphemes. But if we look at cheese, we can't take CHE and make that a morpheme. That doesn't have meaning by itself. The EESE might have meaning by itself, but you can't break this into one. So cheese would just be one morpheme. But if you look at cheeses, it's actually 2 because the S at the end has meaning. It pluralizes it. So if the S is at the end of a word, that is a morpheme. And that's one of the ways they'll try and trick you on a test. They might give you a word like cheeses and say, how many morphemes? And you would have to remember to take that S at the end and make it its own. Or if you add ED at the end of the word, it makes it past tense. That has meaning. So ED at the end of the word. So look at your prefixes and your suffixes in a word. That'll oftentimes help you identify the morpheme.